And I know that for some out there, they may be wondering like how do you
Yeah.
do that? How do you help raise or train children to become all stars and leaders and college graduates and pursuing law? I mean, how do you do, particularly when you're coming from a situation that may be challenging?
Hmm.
If you could pick out two or three things that you
Yeah.
would say that you would give to a young parent or soon to be parent about some
Hmm.
tips that could help their kids transcend,
Yeah.
what would you say?
One, I would definitely say that be the parent.
Mm,
You have a relationship with your child, but be the parent.
mm,
Sometimes parents will say, well, she really didn't want to do that. If she's never done it before, why are you letting her make a decision on what she wants to do?
mm,
So it's like you're the adult and you're supposed to have the experience, or you go learn about the experience and then decide, at least test it.
yeah.
Try it for a while, and if that child doesn't like it, then okay, go to something else. Um, the second would be to engage them in as many opportunities and experiences as you can,
Mm,
whatever you can afford to do. If there's a cost to it, maybe that program may have a scholarship for it, or they have a waiver, to decrease the cost. So again, it's exposure to experiences and opportunities. And the third, I would say, is to ensure that your child has at least three other people who they can go to
mm,
for a trusted conversation. And these should be people that you also trust who will guide them to go the right path. Because they may talk to someone, but that person, adult, can lead them in the wrong
mm.
direction or give them advice where you would say, like, why would you tell them that? Where if they didn't feel comfortable talking to me, I know that that person's going to give them good advice.
The village effect.
The village effect. Yeah.
Welcome to Better Things, the podcast where Detroit's change makers and boldest voices come together for authentic conversations. We highlight people who are building businesses, shaping culture, and driving progress one neighborhood and one voice at a time. I'm Diallo Smith, the president and CEO of Life Remodeled, and we're going to dive deep into the heart of the city to hear directly from those who are forecasting and shaping the future of our city. Today, I'm here with Kimberly Johnson, founder, president, and CEO of Developing K.I.D.S. Let's get into it. Kim Johnson,
Good morning.
founder, president, and CEO of Developing K.I.D.S, which stands for those who may not know, Kingdoms in Different Stages, a Detroit-based nonprofit founded in 2006, which makes this your 20-year anniversary,
Yes, it is.
serving 1,000 youth annually with programs in youth development, family engagement, and workforce development. Detroit native, who has expanded your organization. We'll talk a little bit about that. But what I find to be the most noteworthy is that right now you are boasting a 99% high school graduation rate amongst your participants.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we have to let the viewers know that this isn't just a first time us meeting conversation.
No, not at all. Not at all.
We go way back,
We do. We do.
high school and then college and here we are.
I know.
Who
Leadership Detroit,
Leadership Detroit?
class of 42.
Who would have thunk it?
Right. I know. I
And
know.
but we're here. And you know, one of the things I always start off with, Kim, asking our guests is what is your favorite or most memorable Detroit neighborhood story?
Oh, my goodness. I would say it is riding my bike with
Mm,
my friends on my block. So
mm,
we would have our water bottles, and my mother would pass out snacks to all of us, and then we would just ride for miles together in a little pack, just riding, having a good time, feeling safe
yeah.
in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Those were good times.
they
Those were
were.
good times. And you know, I mentioned that you have expanded developing kids.
Yes.
I've heard you
Yeah.
tell the story
Yeah.
of how it all just began as a reaction
Yes.
to what was happening on your front lawn or maybe on your neighbor's front
Mhm.
lawn and now it is what. Could you walk us through just those very beginning stages of that into what it is now?
It's a beautiful reflection. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, coming back from college, and we went to school, we were neighbors in
Yeah.
college, and coming back, everyone was moving to the suburbs when they came back from school. And I wanted to move back into the city. And what I noticed was that a lot of us that were in the city and we could afford it, we were taking our kids outside of the city for high quality programs.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why aren't we having those opportunities right here in the city, in the neighborhood?
Mm-hmm.
The kids were knocking on my door to play with my kids, and I said, play where? And there was a park at the end of the block that had 2 swings and a set of monkey bars.
Wow.
So it started with, hey, how do we take care of the park that we have?
Mm.
So giving them grocery bags, and then we would go pick up the trash over there. But I started to really say what is needed in this neighborhood.
Mm.
And I created Developing Kids, asking my daughters, what activities do you think young people want to be a part of? And I developed it and said, well, who's going to do this? It wasn't the expectation that I would, but here we are 20 years later.
Wow. So
Yeah.
so it started with just kids coming to play with
Yes.
your kids.
Coming to play with my kids, knocking on the door. I had a family tragedy that I almost became well, I was a widow,
Mm.
almost lost my own life
Mm.
in that process. And 7 months after that, I said, come and meet the board of directors for Developing Kids and hear
Wow.
about this opportunity. We raised $750, and that kicked off the first official program.
$750. Well, that's a
$750.
lot of money.
We served 27 kids that summer. A lot of money, right?
So 27
Yeah.
to now over 1,000.
Over 1,000 youth we're serving annually.
And you mentioned the $750.
Yes.
And I'm going to state this, and I'm going to preface it by saying I can empathize with the journey of
Yes.
capital projects. But
Yes.
last year,
Yeah.
big year for Developing Kids.
Big here.
You opened a center, or as you call
Yes.
it, the village.
The village. Yes.
And for those who may not know how difficult it is to bring a capital intensive project to life, share with us a little bit that journey of just that vision for, what, we need a building,
Yeah.
to how you probably had to knock on some doors and ask some people for support, and
Yeah.
to have raised over $8 million
Yes.
to open this beautiful new center. Tell me about that journey.
Take a deep, had
Yeah.
to, breathe for a
Yeah.
minute. Still have those moments. Diallo, it is, and I know you're well aware, Developing Kids was starting to grow, and we were now in 2 rooms inside of a basement in a community center, and it was a need of, we still need more room. So every summer we were renting other facilities to be able to house our summer program because it had grown to be so large. And I said, we need our own space
Yeah.
that we can come to. I had no desire to really own a building. But one day I said, I need to find this space, and we need it for kids. And just very thankful to supporters who have been a part of our work. The very first donor that year, when I had to come and meet the board of directors, she still donates to this day.
Mm.
And for people who have just, again, believed in our work, have watched us grow and said, I want to support and I want to invest to help with this vision that you have. I remember spending about a year looking at buildings, could not find what I wanted. I thought I found the perfect building, and the deal fell through.
Mm.
I cried, I prayed, I was falling out. I got on my husband's last nerve because I was so upset that that opportunity did not come to us. And I said, you know what? I have to be patient. And I sat for about a year and a half just trying to be patient. And the facility that we have now, the one that I cried about, I could fit 3 of those in the current building that we
Wow.
have.
Wow.
And it was less money that we paid for the current facility.
Wow.
So it has taught me, one, to be patient, to share our work, share our stories. I always say, like, I don't have time for horse and pony shows.
Mm.
This is what we do. You either love it or you don't. We're very genuine about it, and we want people to love us for the work that we do. And we have an open door policy for people to come in and see it for yourselves. I don't have to be there. Um, Getting to that dollar amount, uh, one, we've probably spent $500,000 just on architect fees.
Mm.
When you think of,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I want a building, you don't
Right.
think about, oh, there's architects and
Right.
engineers and permit fees. You're just thinking about the building, the purchase. And then, oh, Uncle such and such can help do the floors, or this person can do the plumbing work. No, you need permits. They have to be licensed. And so there's quite a bit to that journey that I've learned. So I also believe that I am, by practice, an engineer, an architect, and construction
Right.
manager.
You learn the school of hard knocks.
I've learned through the school of hard knocks, but
When
it's been a
you
beautiful journey.
when you got the keys
Yes.
and opened
Yeah.
the door
Yeah.
or came in like it was the first time, what was that feeling like?
So I was a part of the process all the way through, so it was a little bit different. I was very engaged, and that was very unexpected, I believe, by our construction team. So I ensured that I had a pink hard hat, so they saw me when I was coming.
Pink.
It was a pink hard hat, and being engaged in it. So I had the keys, but it was the day that we had the lights come on
Mm.
that I stood in the lobby and I cried
Mm.
because it was just all, it felt brand new, it
Yeah.
felt real, and it was like, welcome. Yeah.
You talk about the need for spaces like that for our young
Mm-hmm.
people. And I think there's this notion, why do nonprofits need their own building?
Yeah.
Why do they need their own space? What activities are taking place
Mm-hmm.
in that building? I mean,
Yeah.
when I've driven by it,
Yeah.
I'm just in awe about what I see. But
Yeah.
what's happening on the inside?
Throughout the day, we have a lot of other organizations and companies that use our space.
Okay.
So that allows us to have revenue come in, to operate and be able to use to sustain our programs. But we have a workforce development program. We do food distribution every Tuesday. We have a clothing closet. Um, we support young people after they graduate from high school who have been in our after school and summer programs. So they may come in during office hours to get the support that they need. Our team is working and managing. Sometimes we have team members that go out and they're doing programs in other schools and other organizations. But it is a lot of the work that we do during the day makes it possible for us to do the work in the evening, I
Yeah.
would say. So that program support, gathering materials, shopping, purchasing things. We have parent workshops and just chat sessions for them to talk about the things that they need,
Hmm.
and to make sure that we support, because it is a village model of we support each other.
Mm.
Yeah.
I happened to be around you one time when you were talking with one of your students, and I don't remember the
Uh-oh.
exact nature of the conversation. He said, "Uh oh," he said, so this is good.
Yes.
So that lets me know that you may get a little bit of
Oh,
where I'm
yeah.
going at here. But um, the student was saying something about
Mhm.
something was hard, or
Mhm.
I don't know why this teacher
Yeah.
told me to do this and do that. And I think there's this idea that a lot of our youth facing workers are very loving and
Mhm.
supportive and encouraging, sometimes to a fault.
Yeah.
But what I saw you do was actually one very impactful.
Mhm.
You stopped her and you listened to her, but you
Mhm.
stopped her and you said something to the effect, if you could have walked a mile in my shoes, you would not be
Mhm.
complaining about what you're complaining about. And so if I can make it,
Mhm.
then that gives you no excuse not to. And I think it was a surreal moment for that student, because I think there was a gravity that hit her,
Mhm.
and maybe she knows about you and
Yeah.
knows about your story. But in as much as you feel comfortable sharing, you talked a little bit about
Sure.
the challenges you were having and that they were a widow. But what is it about your story personally that you believe is able to center other people and inspire them to do their best?
I think for some, not all of our young people, but um, their stories may resonate with my stories.
Mm.
And so, again, growing up in the city of Detroit, um, coming from a two-parent household that eventually became a one-parent household,
Mm.
ending up with a father who was on drugs,
Mm.
a mother who became sick before I graduated from high school. So you're now caring for a parent, and you're a
Mm.
teenager yourself, and you having now the responsibility of also what's going to happen to your siblings,
Mm.
who are younger than you. And I'm the only girl of four boys, so I feel like I'm the boss. I am the boss. So even having an older brother, I'm still the boss, you know. But feeling that pressure of having to be the caregiver at 17 and making a decision to leave for college with no support,
Mm,
no encouragement to go, and a few $100s in my pocket.
yeah.
So it was, I'm still going to make it. I'm going to figure it out.
Mm,
And I did so. I was a teen mom, you know, and I was not say a teen mom, but I was a young adult mom. I was 20 years old. But I still graduated from high school in 4 years and a semester.
mm,
And so coming out of that, having that story that resonates, and then feeling like, okay, I've made it. I came back. I made it. First generation college graduate. Husband was a first generation college graduate. He made it also. And then mental health challenges sink in, you know.
mm,
So then that leads to him taking his life
mm,
and then attempting to take mine as well.
mm.
So it's like, can I get a break here? You know, it's like, wait a minute, what happened? I thought I did everything right. Um, and recovering from that. So I say Kim stands for keep it moving. You know, we
Mm,
figure out
I
like
love it.
you don't let that stop you. How do you keep moving forward? And at that time, we had three children, and so even for them, I had to be a model for them of like, how do you keep it moving? Things happen, but how do you be resilient? That doesn't mean that you don't stop to acknowledge, to feel what's
Yeah.
happening in the moment, to take care of yourself. But then what?
It's interesting, when we were growing up, there was a lot of positives, right? But there were some challenges going on in the city at that time too. A lot of deindustrialization, which led to mass unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
Drugs was starting to rise with crack and everything else, and so,
Yeah.
a lot of us, I'm sure if we were to recount, there are some
Yeah.
friends that we had then that are not here now.
Absolutely.
Years later, decades later, as you're seeing the realities
Yeah.
for our young people in the neighborhoods, what are you seeing that's different from when we grew up and or the same?
Definitely social media. It
Mm,
plays a huge part in a lot of, to me, destruction that happens amongst young people, whether that is bullying, the how they see themselves because of all the things that they are aware of on social media that they shouldn't see.
mm.
Um, we have 8-year-olds with cell phones, 6 years old, 6 year olds with cell
I'm
phones.
so glad we didn't have social media
I
back when we
know
was.
in a day. I'm so
I might be in
happy.
trouble.
Yes. But it's like I know I'd be in some major trouble, but it's like the kids now, they can make mistakes. You feel like they can't do silly things because now they have a digital footprint that follows them.
Yeah, yeah.
So it is there's now cancel culture.
Mm,
Don't say the wrong thing
yeah.
because you could just destroy your career
Mm,
before you even get started. And I believe that a lot of access to technology and social media has created different pathways. You know, I can remember being young and you just look at the magazines and wow, I don't look like her. So am I ugly?
mm,
Well, now you have a lot of cosmetic surgery that is the in thing,
mm.
and you have the videos and just social media that can lead to young people to think a certain way about themselves that may
Yeah.
not be true.
When you're interacting with your participants, with your students every day, you just
Yeah.
mentioned that one of your alum is getting ready to matriculate into a Greek organization,
Yes.
and that's not the first one.
No.
And so you've had a lot of success with your students, not only graduating from high school, but many of
Mhm.
them going on to college. I think you said that there's a Black college tour that you guys are going on next
Next
week.
week.
What's the secret sauce? I mean, there are a lot of people out there. Well,
No.
if there's 1,000 kids who are graduating with a 99%
Yeah.
clip from high school and
Yeah.
then are going on to go on to college, how does that happen? What would you say is the secret sauce for you?
Secret sauce. One, we build really good relationships with youth and families and developing kids. And I can honestly say For a lot of youth who don't continue on through their years, it's because they've moved out of the neighborhood. Transportation, we don't provide transportation. Those may be the issues, but it is, I would say, the relationships.
Yeah.
That's our secret sauce. It's in our relationships that we build. No new thing that anyone else isn't doing, but it's in those relationships, and just always focusing on the quality of the work that we do.
Yeah. I was reading something, and I thought about you, and not only you, but others who are navigating and leading these out of school time experiences. But on average, parents who are spending money for private schools, they're averaging around $75,000 a year.
Yes.
Public school, on average,
Yeah.
is $15,000 a student. And if you're living in a poor urban environment, say like Detroit, is averages around $8,000 to $10,000 per student. So what that means is over 12 years, some students have a $720,000 difference being spent on their educational experience. And so what that looks like in terms of the outcome, so low income kids, their SAT scores are 150 points less than middle income kids. And then middle income kids are
Right.
250 points lower than higher upper income
Yeah.
kids, right? So you
Yeah.
have that deal. And so when I think about out of school time, I think about how important it is to be able to, you have to find a way to fill those gaps, right? You have to
That's right.
find a way to add resources onto people's school time experiences to be able to help navigate them. Because to me, it certainly is the relationships, it's the community that's built, but it's also about the investments that's being made into those young people.
Absolutely.
And so when you think about the work that you do, you said quality. I heard that word quality.
Yes.
Quality. Define quality for me, and what is a quality out of school time experience versus a non-quality out of school time experience?
Quality can begin with one, making sure that kids are safe, making sure that they feel welcome. Is it a non-judgmental zone that they're walking into? Um, when they are with you, so they're coming in, they're safe, they feel welcome. Then when they are there, is it a dictatorship that's happening in that space, or is it collaborative? Do the youth feel that they have a voice and they are engaged in whatever it is that they're learning? They're responsible for the learning that they're taking place of. So that could look like today, the youth are leading a team building exercise, not the leader, the coordinator of that group. It could also look that the youth engage in the planning of the activities that they are going to do. So they are taking ownership of how they design their pathway to their future.
I was overhearing some students last year, and these were students who were getting ready for summer employment. These were high school and I think some college, and I'm just listening to them talk, and
Okay.
the Developing Kids name came up
Oh.
to the extent of, yeah, that's if you want to make some good money,
Yeah. And
go to Developing Kids
yeah,
for the summer. So
yeah,
you're not only helping to educate our young people and giving them a safe space like you talked about, but you're also helping them out economically as well with some summertime experiences. How many students are working with you during the summer?
this year we will have 120.
Wow.
100 of those are through the Grow Detroit Young Talent Program. And, we had a decrease in that number because of some budget cuts. But for the past 5 years, we've had over 200 young people
Wow.
who have worked with us. And what we do is if we see that you have strong leadership skills, then we will pay you beyond what the city's program is paying you. But again, that's through demonstration of you being in the program. And I've heard this, and I just shared this with some team members, that you never know who's watching you to see for your next step and what that could be.
Yeah.
So
Well, I may need to apply for for a summer job.
you
I
got it.
one thing that's I hear a lot of was at an event, presenting at an event earlier this week, and older demographic,
Okay.
and they mentioned that what they have seen change throughout the decades is less of an emphasis on education
Mm.
and less of an emphasis on parenting. You mentioned you have 3 children. I happen to know that they're all very impressive young men and young women.
As yours
Uh,
as well. Thank you.
Congratulations, Mom, for raising 3 incredible
Thank
children.
you.
And I know that for some out there, they may be wondering like, how do you
Yeah.
do that? How do you help raise or train children to become all stars and leaders and college graduates and pursuing law? I mean, how do you do, particularly when you're coming from a situation that may be challenging?
Hmm.
If you could pick out 2 or 3 things that you
Yeah.
would say that you would give to a young parent or soon to be parent about some
Hmm.
tips that could help their kids transcend,
Yeah.
what would you say?
One, I would definitely say that be the parent.
Mm,
You have a relationship with your child, but be the parent.
mm,
Sometimes parents will say, well, she really didn't want to do that. If she's never done it before, why are you letting her make a decision on what she wants to do?
mm,
So it's like you're the adult and you're supposed to have the experience, or you go learn about the experience and then decide, at least test it.
yeah.
Try it for a while, and if that child doesn't like it, then okay, go to something else. Um, the second would be to engage them in as many opportunities and experiences as you can,
Mm,
whatever you can afford to do. If there's a cost to it, maybe that program may have a scholarship for it, or they have a waiver, to decrease the cost. So again, it's exposure to experiences and opportunities. And the third, I would say, is to ensure that your child has at least 3 other people who they can go to
mm,
for a trusted conversation. And these should be people that you also trust who will guide them to go the right path. Because they may talk to someone, but that person, adult, can lead them in the wrong
mm.
direction or give them advice where you would say, like, why would you tell them that? Where if they didn't feel comfortable talking to me, I know that that person's going to give them good advice.
The village effect.
The village effect. Yeah.
And as we wrap up, you've done what some would say to be the impossible. You've opened this one. You started with, what was it, just a few kids knocking on your
Yeah.
door, wanting to play with your kids, and then
Yeah.
that transformed into $750 serving 20, was it 7 students that year?
I know, yes, 27 kids that first year.
Kids that first
Yeah.
year. Now your budget is a
Yeah.
lot bigger than seven hundred and fifty
Yes, a
dollars,
lot bigger than
right?
that.
And you've just raised $8 million to open this incredible new center.
Thank you.
So what's next? What's next for you? What's next for Developing K.I.D.S?
I've been asked that question many times.
Yeah.
And we're focusing on it, but also I'm doing it together. So I have been learning from alumni, parents, current and former parents, volunteers, and our team to help design, like, what does that future look like for us in 20 years? I'm definitely looking for that young person, like, who's going to take my job?
Yeah.
I want to create this cadre of young people who are learning about this craft of running a nonprofit organization. This is not something that I thought that I would be doing.
Me and you neither.
Right? I was like, what? How did I get here? So it is exposing them to that opportunity and let them know, like, do you know Mr. Diallo Smith and what
Mm.
he does? Like, I think that's very important. I also believe that representation matters. Um, I now have several young kids, girls and boys, and their grandparents and parents tell me, like, he tells me he's going to be a CEO when he grows up.
Mm.
I'm glad because he sees someone who looks like him that's in that position, and it matters. It means something. It lets you know what things are possible. Yeah.
So the name of this podcast is called Better Things, and it's derived from the inscription that's on the city of Detroit flag
Okay.
that says "We hope for better things" in
Mm-hmm.
Latin. What's one thing that you're hoping for the city of Detroit?
I'm hoping for increased safety in the city, that children, adults can walk, run, go different places, and not in just those places that have patrolled. patrol cars there, but you can feel safe to go anywhere in your neighborhood, because if you feel safe in that space, then you feel that you can dream, and you can fly, you can do whatever it is you want to, and you can have access to more things because you feel safe getting there and getting to it, whether you have a car or not. So,
Kimberly Johnson, the Kimberly
yes.
Johnson. Thank you so much, sister.
Thank you, Diallo. Pleasure being here.
Join us for future episodes of Better Things as we continue to have conversations with key voices across the city of Detroit. If you want to learn more about Life Remodel's mission, please go to liferemodel.org. We'll see you guys next time.